This is a talented roster, good coaches, man. Doug does a really good job. I know Ron Nielsen coached with him at New Orleans. Aggressive defense, pretty hard-nosed, but talented bunch here. And so that's one element. The other is just us improving, correcting our own errors and continue to get better every week. And so that's really kind of the start of this day. Questions?
Where have you seen some of the struggles with the offensive line in terms of pass protection? Jerry's been taking a little bit more hits over the last couple weeks.
Some of them, just a few things on passing the games clean. The style of play that we've faced, these up the field defenses are just a little unique, and it takes a minute to get used to them sometimes. You simulate it in practice the best you can, but if you're off just a little bit and we're on different levels, then you struggle at times. So just some of those, it's it's a technique. Those are about technique and things that are very correctable, and we'll get them corrected.
So talent aside, you're about to hit a stretch here of teams that don't have the best records, maybe different motivations to play with. How do you make sure your team still handles its business, I guess, to make sure they stay in as locked in as possible?
Well, I think no different than what we just faced a team in Houston that felt like their back was against the wall. I think that's how they approached that game, and and they brought it. And I would expect nothing different out of this team. I mean, I would expect we're going to get their best game of the year, and same with the Colts after that. So, and same with Chicago after that. Same with Green Bay after that. So we're going to get everybody's best shot, and you have to understand that we have to assume we will get the best version of what they are and what they're capable of. And so with that, we've got to be on our game, and it really is about yourself and it's about the details, to what we do. And, what we put in for this opponent, it's about the why. Why are we doing what we're doing and the how? How are we going to do it? And that's really the starting point with this week or any team.
The season doesn't cut cleanly into quarters the way it used to with 17 games, but you have rolled past the halfway point here. Just curious, what are your areas where you feel like you need the most growth here down the stretch run to really solidify who you are and what you want to be?
Well, look, I think, man, I want to feel like we get our efficiency back offensively. We've been efficient in spurts, but, get one of those games where, and I'm not even talking about where you're scoring touchdowns every time. You just want to know you're getting out there converting first down. And does that lead to a field goal, or did you have to punt? But at least you're moving the football, because that gets us in a rhythm, and I think that's important. And some of that is, like I said, it's the fundamentals, details of what you do. Some of it is in those details. Man, catch a knife early, right? Get this ball and go north and south, and don't try to do too much early. Let the game come to you. And if we convert the next first down, then that gives us another 3 or 4 plays. Convert the next one, you get another 3 or 4 opportunities, and then pretty soon we gain our momentum, and we're really good about that. So I think that in general, just getting our flow back a little bit. It's not something I'm concerned with, but if it's an area that I feel like we can improve and will improve, that's it.
As a coach, do you almost like having some things to fix? 8-1, everybody's throwing praise, and is it almost good to have some things to fix?
Yeah, but look, I've never been a part of a team that didn't have anything to fix. I mean, all those years in New Orleans, we had some pretty good teams. We always had things to fix. I mean, it was inevitably we'd come out of games and really very similar to now, and you're like, man, this is going to bite us. This is going to bite us. This is going to bite us down the road. This is going to catch up with us, and you just continue to win, and you keep, you clean up one thing, and then something else may pop up, but pretty soon you begin to eliminate most of those, and you're playing your best ball by the time you hit January. That's really what it's about. As by then you're making very few errors, and ultimately it's always going to come down to making fewer errors than your opponent, no matter what. That is the most important thing.
He's showing his excitement as well, but Have you set any like realistic expectations? I know you guys said you're not expecting him to come in and just be Hutch, but just this first game, like any realistic expectations of what he looks like?
No, I can't. That's hard to, like, for me. And honestly, I'm not looking at the. I'm not going to be looking at the stats. I just want to know that he's doing his job and he's as productive as he can be in that. So no, I can't say that I'm putting these. I'm like, all right, this is what needs to show up in stat sheet, this many sacks, this many pressures. Man, just go in there, and if you do your job and you're able to push the pocket and Pascal gets one or a lean, and then we'll know you did your job. That in itself is going to count for a lot, and then Pascal will push them to you or vice versa. So I think that's really what I've said it all along. I'm looking for a complementary piece and somebody that's going to be able to help our defense, that's going to elevate us a little bit, and I think he'll do that for us.
Trayvon Walker, the former top pick, seems like he's really coming on this year. Just curious what you saw out of him coming out of college and how he's kind of continued to grow into what he is now. Yeah,
he's a good player. I mean, you got him on one end and Allen on the other, and we liked Trayvon when he was coming out. He was kind of. I guess raw for an edge defender. He played more of that kind of 4-eye defensive end at Georgia, but he's got all the physical ability you could have. He plays stout. He's physical. He's explosive. He's able to transition into rush, and you're right. I feel like he's grown every year, and he's a handful on the front side. I mean, you try to run at him. And you single him up on some one-on-one, he can be an issue. So he's somebody that we know we got to take care of and keep our eye out for because he is a good player.
Can you share some of what Jared said to you after the game on the field as you're walking off?
He said, we're just different. That's really what he said. We're just different. And I agreed with him. We are, and that's the way we're built. I thought he played really well. I mean, it was good to get him back. I mean, it was noticeable having him back in our rotation on that D-line. He's just there again, even with being off that, week or two, I feel like he improved even from the last time he played. And he is physical on the perimeter. You talk about crushing the edge, setting an edge in the run game, and then push the pocket, transition into rush, chase the ball down, relentless effort. Man, he's us. I mean, and it's one of the reasons he's here. But now that he's had his chance to really step up and play a significant amount of reps for us, he's making the most of them.
Just go back to the offense. A lot of teams that experience some of the ruts that you were relying on, a receiver, relying on a running back to go to constantly. Would it be fair to say that when you're in a rut, sometimes you go to Penei Sewell as kind of your guy to get you out of a funk?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, Sewell is, it goes without saying, Sewell is so versatile. There's so many things that he can do, and everything from, obviously the gap scheme, just really knocking an edge down. We talk about people setting edges. He can just knock an edge down and create a couple of gaps in the defense. But then even on the perimeter, his ability to run and maneuver, and he's just such a good athlete, and he's powerful, and he's nimble, So I think that's fair. And we're fortunate because we have a lot of guys I feel like they can get us out of a rut. Starts with a quarterback, but Sewell and Saint and Dave Montgomery and Gibbs, and Jamo's getting better. We're continuing to grow. But yeah, he's definitely one of those staples for us.
Being without Jamo for a couple of weeks, last game he had a couple of big catches on third down. How'd you like the way he attacked going into that game and what you got out of him?
Yeah, I loved it. That was good to see. He went in there and felt like he attacked the football. He really made two outstanding catches. One back hip catch behind him, and then the other one over the middle where he's just getting sandwiched and catches that ball over his head and takes it all the way down for for the catch. Those are big time plays for us. Both of them explosive plays. So it was good to get him back, and to feel like, okay, you didn't feel like you're starting all over with him. That's a good feeling. That's what, we anticipated. It's what we hoped for. Hey, he's going to be all right. He's going to pick up where he left off, and he certainly did that. So love where he's at right now.
How much confidence can James Houston gain from a performance like that, and how have you seen him over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think he can gain a lot. It looked different. There was a number of reps that looked different, and it looked like he's beginning to get some of his confidence back. And even in the run game was a little bit better, which is encouraging because he's got to be able to help us there in rotation. We can't. I mean, we can, but we would rather not. Just sap Pascal in those ends. Zarius now and Levi. You want them to have enough to where they got plenty in reserves when we need them. So we need him. But he had a couple of really good rushes. He had one where his get off was, man, and that's what we need out of him all the time. He's got that ability.
Wondering if you had any more clarity on Decker, and then within that, I think we understand why you stuck with Panay on the right side, given how late in the week. But if you had a full week, I mean, is there a preference to have Panay on the blind side in that situation?
Yeah, I think knowing that if that was the case and we were not going to have Decker, I think that was probably where we would go. As of right now, I do feel better about having Decker this week. He was out there at walkthrough going through, and I feel like he's questionable, but I'm starting to feel pretty good about him. I think he's going to be able to make it. Tomorrow will tell a lot. Certainly, that'll be a full speed practice for us. But everybody else is trending the right way. Really, Laporta's the one guy who's not practicing today. Didn't go through walkthrough or anything like that. And like I say, he's day to day. He and Iffy are in the same boat. We just take it as it comes, and if they're ready, they're ready. If they're not, they're not. Okay, thank you.